Okay, great.
I
Okay,
thought
excellent.
the
Yeah,
reviewing for the exam will give me a chance. There's some stuff I skimmed over fast, so
sure.
or things I only half read, half listened to. So
So there might be even more value to get.
exactly. There's a couple of links that, and there's another one too. The one to one of the last ones doesn't go to the right spot. Anyway, they need to double check their links.
Okay, linked
So
in module 4.
yes, and
Okay.
the smiley guy, if you watch it, it ends on a cliffhanger. But if you actually go in and start looking, there's some other YouTube videos where he has the rest of the parts of that. And I didn't have enough time. It was getting really late again to go through it. But you can start to find it. But if you Google him up, there's an article that covers his 5 main points from that. So you can they can give a link to the article.
Okay, instead of the video. Okay.
I'll see if I remember. I'll email it to you, but I don't know if I'll remember. I'm
Okay.
having one of those weeks.
Noted. Okay, that's great. So today we said that we wanted to first and foremost get together with the idea of prepping and reviewing for the exam. And I do want to share with you, then there's 9 questions that are part of the exam. They're all written. And this isn't like the other things. It's not meant to be a gotcha in any way. In fact, this is how we as adults learn, is by processing and writing it out and putting it in our own words, of course. So there are these 9 components, and so we can talk through those today. And then the other 2 things were to look at the discussion questions that were left. Now you've completed all of module 4 as well, so this is great. So the discussion 3, module 3 discussion was, how would you define strong member engagement? So practices, signals, or metrics. And we did talk about that a little bit, I know, Andrea, before, but we'll get Delphina's voice in the mix too, and maybe you have further reflections. And module 4 was around, what does belonging look like in a housing co-op, and how is it stewarded by staff, managers, and leaders in the co-op? So this is a democratic moment. Do you want to start with discussion questions? Do you want to start with exam review?
Exam review.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, is that okay? Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so flexible. It's all good.
Okay. I haven't asked CHF Canada about the ethics of sharing with you the exam ahead of time. But again, I think we all want you to come away having learned something. So I'll verbalize it for now, and if you feel like it would be really helpful to see it, then maybe I'll make sure you can see it too. So each of these 9 items is intended to for you to put into your own words a response to each of these. So yeah, so I give a parameter for each of them in terms of word count, but I sort of say within 100 words of that. So each of them are only 100 words to 400 is the maximum that's on there. But you know, there's this flexibility with that. If you feel like you've said the thing that you need to say, then you don't have to keep writing. And I gave some flexibility in case you're someone who prefers to have some more words too. So you have a bit of flexibility there. So, and if you do happen to use references or citations, that's not included in the word count. So the first one is around listing the 7 cooperative principles. And the idea there is that you give a definition in your own words. So 1 to 3 sentences in the housing co-op context in particular. Yeah, so if you were trying to describe the principle to a member or a new board member and that kind of thing, how would you say it in such a way that it makes sense in your context? That's what we're going for there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
This reminds me, as an aside, can we get a poster of because now it's one more principle. I have that old version on the wall. I think it's only 6 principles, but now there's 7. Can we get a poster of the whole 7 now?
Okay, your principal has 6. 1995 is when we added the 7.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
I mean, you inherited that, so it's not on you, but that's pretty cute. I wonder if Co-ops and Mutuals Canada has a download of the principles, or whether the international.
Has one.
CMHA
Nice
has
to
one,
put a
evidently.
nice poster, though. I'd like to put something.
Yeah. Oh, there was a cool food co-op out of the States. I think it was Willie Street Co-op did a gorgeous design poster for each of the principles that they put up in their store. And I believe they're available online if you, but that's one principle at a time. Let's see. Okay, next one. Name which cooperative value you believe housing co-ops could better implement. And define practices and approaches that would strengthen it. Yeah. And so that's a short answer, but the idea is that in the first one, we talked about the principles, and the second one, so this is back to module one. So the second one, we're looking at those values, and hey, pop quiz, how many values are there? You remember?
Oh, I don't remember how many.
There's 10 values, and those are the foundation, and the principles were offered as a way to see how we can operationalize them. So it's grabbing one of those values. And that's a moment of sort of like critical reflection on the housing cooperative sector for yourself. Okay, next one. You ready? How would you define a cooperative ecosystem? Again, not meant to be a trick question, but more if you remember some of the themes coming out of, I believe, module 2. We had talked about the, federations and cooperativeness. You don't have to go deep into the literature on complex cooperative networks, but certainly around those themes, you'll want to name a few things. The next is provide a narrative example, or AKA a brief story, of 2 cooperatives in Canada that you learned about for the first time, one housing and one in another economic realm. It's a bit of an echo from the module 2 quiz. And okay. And then next is write a brief plan for how to create strong member engagement in a cooperative. So include specific activities, approaches, or policy examples. So in that one, I mean, it would be fine to use point form if you need to. So if you're talking about themes of, last time Andrew and I talked a lot about onboarding, what that looks like, and preparing the member for what engagement in a democratic organization looks like, that kind of thing. So everything from onboarding to for what engagement means throughout their time as part of the cooperative as a member. Okay. Next is explain how psychological safety can be achieved in a housing cooperative. And then next, explain how cooperative culture intersects with efforts of DEI, or equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. So how does co-op culture intersect with those efforts?
Oh, hang on. Dennis, I can't talk right now.
Oh, the camera really zooms right in, follows you.
Yeah,
Andrea.
this is the effective, this is the new iPads. They do weird things. Yeah, I noticed that one time when I, oh,
Well,
that
if
is
you're-
really funny. It follows me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Wow.
That's
Okay.
really weird. Oh, you get to see
Yeah,
how
if
cluttered
you
my
were about
office
to
is.
have a private conversation, it was gonna zoom us right in on that.
Oh my God. My office is so badly cluttered right now. I try to find an angle that doesn't look as
We
I
don't
don't
mind.
Delphina goes and smears hers, so we can't tell. But
We have no idea.
But I have
Great. Okay, two more. So that was up to number 7. So number 8 is explain what makes a strong and healthy cooperative. So especially the section around alignment would be useful for that one. And then the last one is a reflection. Define the key takeaways of this course for you. So 1 to 3 examples and how they're useful applied in your context.
oh, so much. It's gonna be hard to pick 3.
Oh, yes, we love to hear it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have nowhere but to go but up at our place, really.
I mean, this is great. This is really good that you're doing this whole program. I mean, I'm super glad that you're taking so much out of this course, but you're so hungry to make the co-op better, and it's
This
such
was such
yeah.
a nice course to start with, I think, for me personally.
Great.
This is a very good positive one to start with.
Great. And then you get into a lot of the applied and technical
Mhm.
learning of things. So that's altogether complementary to your, well, you're being fresh or into the
Absolutely.
role. Yeah. Okay, so what questions do you have on any of those?
No, how much time do we have to finish the test? Because I know it's like sometimes it's like within an hour, or there are
That's
too
a
many
great
questions.
question. Let me see if I can see that, because
Maybe there's none.
well, it might be within an hour, but now that you have them, you could draft
Read.
them and then paste them. I would say because, well, I mean, once you finish module 2 quiz, but because you've mostly done the rest of the
Yeah.
course, I would say at this point, draft these and then,
Okay.
yeah,
Fine.
and then be ready. Be ready to paste.
Well, that's what I kind of wanted to, even from the quizzes. And sometimes I started the quizzes like severely late at night, and I was wondering if I'd get cut off if I went to the next day. But okay.
Well, these are good questions. These are things that I can't see. Let me just double check if I can see any other details of that, but I can't. So timing max. Yes. Okay. But yes, if I were you, I wouldn't launch the exam until you've got some of this already drafted or
Okay.
outlined at least, yeah. Because you'll both be, that's the exam that you'll see. There's no like random generator that gives you different ones. That's the one. Yeah. Any of those feel easier than others, or any of them feel trickier than the others, or all just maybe what you're expecting?
I think
They fit in with what we've been doing, I think.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's fine.
Okay, great.
I have a question about, so the last time I did my quiz, I printed up my results at the end so I could see the quiz after, but I didn't do it for the first 3. And there's no way to go back and get copies of the quizzes.
Well, because you still don't have a mark for number 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet.
I'm trying so hard to be able to see that.
Either.
So when I can see it, Andrea, I will attempt to get you a copy of that.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this course where once you hit the end of something, there's no going back. There's a lot of that in the way it's set up. So, and it didn't occur to me till the end that, hey, I should have been printing out my quizzes because it'd be nice to look at them again, but totally forgot.
Sure. Yeah. So, but with the module content, you can go back. Like you could go back to module 1 and
yeah,
be
you
able
can
to
do
see
that.
our
But the things with the quizzes, you can't do things.
Yeah, the quizzes for sure. Yeah, I think they do have that set up in a certain way. Okay, I'll see if I can get that for you. And we'll attempt to mark your exam and your quizzes. After I get done with you folks today, I will call again CHF Canada to say, I know you're busy, but these folks really do deserve their marks. Okay, well, then the other thing that we wanted to do today was open up discussion. It can be brief, but just another chance to sort of bring to light the readings and the reflections that you've had for modules 3 and 4. So how do you define strong member engagement? So what practices or what signals and metrics? If it's working, what does it look like? And also, in order to get there, what do you do? Who wants to start?
So I can start, like, we try really hard to get member engagement.
Yeah.
It's, at least in my GOP, it's not easy. Not at all.
What do you think are the barriers?
People did. So we have like the new generation, they don't care. They just see this as a cheap option for housing.
Okay.
And the seniors, they have been here so long that most of them already served, and you have like 2 different groups. So they one against the other. So if one is involved, the other group doesn't want to be involved. And that's how it is. But we'll keep on trying. Like, I don't know, last week we did Halloween event.
Nice.
But
How'd it go?
out of 149 units, we had 5 members showing.
Wow.
So it's kind of, I don't know. It's disappointing because it's not that we put a lot of effort, but still, like you think, okay, what can we do and how can we bring members together? And members are not engaged.
Okay. And when it comes time for like an issue that comes up, an issue that affects the co-op, do people come out then?
Not as much. So we kind of have between 35 and 40 members attend the GMMs and the AGMs. And they're always the same.
Okay. And so it's cycling through that group in terms of board members as well?
Yeah, well, yes, but now we're running off members, like candidates for the next election. Like we don't have, actually our board should be 7, we have 6.
Okay.
So whenever we get the elections, people cannot vote because they are just by acclamation because we don't reach the minimum. So it's like a circle that it's hard to break. But hopefully some of the youth members, I mean, we keep on trying with the current board president. So our plan is to, okay, let's do an elections committee and let's go and get people, come bring, like, I don't know, we can do a pizza night because whenever it's food, we all go, right? So
Great.
it's like, let's
know your tactics.
Yeah, and let's talk about it and what does it mean to be in the board, because sometimes only people think that it's a lot of work, so which it is, but it's not.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah. Or do you have folks on the board who are the kind of friendly type that would, have a one-on-one with someone? Or if you look at your membership and say there's actually a few people who have the integrity that we would want them on the board and then tapping them specifically to say, would you mind having a conversation about that? Because sometimes that can feel very special as especially a younger person or a newer member to feel like, oh, I've been acknowledged because it seems as though I can, be useful.
Yes. I kind of, before the elections, I ran my own list of members that I would like them to be directors.
Yeah,
For some of them, I mean, it's fine, but I wouldn't like them to be.
yeah.
So we do have a list, and we try, and I just pass that along to the board. Hey, why don't you reach this and that? And sometimes they take that into consideration, of course, but members, they just don't. Maybe next time, or not yet, or
Are there perks to being on the board? Like, do folks get to attend events or go to conferences or anything like that? Like,
yeah,
are there,
everything. Yeah, like we
Yeah.
have a good financial position, so there's no restriction for that,
okay.
right?
I
So
mean,
yeah,
that can be nice too, in terms of
yes.
people developing professionally and
And
whatnot.
our elections are in May. So yeah, part of the plan is, okay, if you're elected in May, then June we get 1 or 2 to go to the conference.
Right.
Wow.
And every time that there are workshops or events, like we are always there. And there's no
Yeah.
restriction to that. So even for prospects, like we open whenever they're training, we just put it in the elevator. Like any member can attend any workshop or training that would then potentially be a board director.
Yeah. Okay,
But,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, those are some ways. And what about your onboarding process? Do they have a sense of what's different about this type of housing and that there is sort of an expectation of engagement?
Yes, because every time, like when we do the interviews, we tell them what it is to live in a co-op. But they say, yes, I want to be in this committee, in that committee. And then
They're
it's just
not.
me and
Okay.
the admins that we have here doing the social committee.
As a peer, Andrea, do you see any opportunities from what you're hearing from Delphina?
Well, we're lucky. We're pretty engaged here. My concern is about losing our older members. Our lack of engagement is with the younger people. They say they're interested and they don't. And frequently they conflict out with work. They conflicts with their work schedule. So trying to get them scheduled in is really tough. I don't have it as bad as you. But all of our past elections have been acclamation of recently. So we're all, and we usually have to beg and plead somebody to take that last spot. We go around looking for. And our next one is going to be big because our president is, nobody wants to be the president/chair. That's the thing. So we are actively recruiting to get somebody to run that would be willing to take on that position. So. We think we've convinced somebody, so we're hoping that will happen. Some things I've inherited here. So similar to what Delphina said, some people didn't want to be on the board because prior to a few years before mine coming, apparently it was really contentious. And so there were huge personality conflicts on our board. And so certain people have actually actively said, I will not show up to a meeting if this other person is here. So, and we have a little bit of that strain. And also so many of my people are interrelated. So I've got two sisters who don't want to talk to each other. So, and they have their little groups of friends. So those people don't want to associate. We have a little bit of that happening. So that's interesting. That didn't come up actually. And they didn't really talk about that kind of dynamic as much in the readings, but that is something that's here. Those personality conflicts can be really strong. But anyway, the things I took, onboarding is something we have not done well here. I don't think recently. We've done interviews. Our newest members have come on. They've been children of members. And so they almost automatically came in. Nobody was going to reject them. But I don't think they've really, and they're lovely people. This is not to say nothing against them, but I don't think they've been introduced to the co-op concepts. What are the principles and why participation is a really great thing. I think that we can do a better job on. And the thing, and this is what I want to do, a handbook. We have no handbook. Nobody has any. They really haven't been talking about the principles here for a long time. I think a lot of them here are very activist kind of people, so they would be supportive of it. So,
Right.
we just need to refresh things again. That's like everything here is refreshing and coming back post-COVID, like reactivating everything in this co-op is, they really went through a sense of really low energy after COVID. Like all their social activities had stopped, and so we're just reintegrating them back again. So, and they like social activities. Anything involving food and a potluck, or they love that.
Food is a good hook. It is a good hook.
The potlucks have been great. We've done some potlucks, and we've combined talking with potlucks. That's worked out really well. We also had a speaker come in on swallowing. It's really an interesting thing. This has to do with seniors, but it affects lots of people with some illnesses. They have issues with swallowing. And she came in and she gave examples, and she brought some sample food things, and that was really engaging for some, and that drew different people in for that.
Okay, very interesting. Well, I mean, two things come to mind as you're sharing, and one of them is that, our principle number 5 is around education, training, and information. So as much as there are lots of things that can take our time in the run of a day, that's still something that we're committed to. And it's not by accident, of course, it's because you can't sustain a healthy cooperative without members being engaged and understanding. And especially if you think that some of your members are a fit for the values, that if they understood it better, they might want to be more engaged. That this seems like a prime opportunity for growth. And the other thing is around they are reaping the benefits of living in your housing cooperative, right? They're reaping the benefits of affordability and community, so many things that people want. And there's also responsibilities. So it's not just about the benefits. There has to be something they give back to. And so, you're not parenting the people in your buildings, but it is really a life lesson. You get to benefit from this. Well, there's also a responsibility. There's rewards and responsibilities. Okay, neat. Yeah, and I like to think outside of the box too sometimes. If it would be useful for one of your potential new members to the board to say this person, Andrea, looking at getting someone to the chair position, and most people are trepidatious about the chair position, reaching out to CHF Toronto and just saying, we're going to have a new chair soon. I wonder if you know of someone who's a chair of a housing co-op that might want to have, an initial call or coffee with this person to give them some comfort with the role. I mean, you're part of a network for that, you can, I think it's worth asking for those kinds of things that could make a difference, because you don't want to be dragging them the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would also work well for the treasurer position, because that's another one that people don't like either.
Yes, right. And you wouldn't be the only co-op
the same issue.
That.
Yeah. Treasurer is, because we've got once our current treasurer just steps down, it's hard to get another treasurer. And we need younger people to step into those roles.
And leaning on your federations for information, for coaching and that kind of thing, for sure, for connections, for sample and examples, but also to we talked last time about sort of what the outputs are that you want. You want an election that people want to put themselves forward for. You want more people coming out to the annual meeting. You want to feel like there's that sense of engagement, but sometimes those things feel a lot less tangible to arrive at. But if you make yourself goals, even if, certain times you might not have the bandwidth to do it, initiate something new, but if you set yourself goals for, each quarter to be doing a certain couple new things to see if they may in fact turn the tides on some of those trends, then at least you have tangible, actionable goals, and then see what the results are from there. Learn from it, whether something was effective or whether 5 people came out to the Halloween party.
Yeah.
What is there to learn in that? Okay, well then to the module 4 question, what does belonging look like in a housing co-op, and how can it be stewarded by staff, managers, and leaders? So what were you thinking in terms of belonging in the co-op? Who wants to kick that one off?
I thought the main themes in that module were about being heard. That not that they not just participation, but actually other people listening and hearing everybody. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that matters a lot as people.
Mhm.
And understood. What did that bring up for you, Delphina?
Yeah. From that module, I think what I'm taking most, I like this ADIA, like adding the accessibility. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that must come up. I mean, well, it definitely, Andrea, you folks are talking about that, and because of your population too, certainly. I was in a workshop at some point about accessibility, and they said, it's funny that engineers and city planners and whatnot, they might be in their 20s to 40s planning for cities, not having the lived experience of being someone with a disability, but
Mhm.
that's the beauty of time, is that we all at some point will,
Yeah.
whether that's mobility or eyesight or whatever it is, we're all going to be in the demographic of needing some amount of accommodation in the world. And so I know, Andrea, you talked about some things you're already thinking about and doing in terms of accessibility in your building.
We need more help on that, though. We could use some government funding for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because these buildings were not built with this in mind. I just went to so we have these little we call them bike rooms, but it's like a little closet at the front of each of the buildings. And I've got people, were space issues between walkers, bikes, and bundle buggies, all trying to share the same limited space. And and then all of that is blocking getting to the water heaters and the access to our crawl space. So all of it is all in this one little, each of them, they're crowded. I don't know where we have bikes hanging off the ceiling, and but I can't have older people lifting bikes onto the ceiling. Anyway, what to do? These buildings weren't built to hold this kind of stuff. It's crazy, or what do we do with a staircase? We have no possibility of putting in an elevator. We have three flights of stairs with some of our most people with the most mobility issues up on the third floor, and then if you put those things that go up the side, you can put a thing that goes up the side, but then apparently we can have issues with fire safety regulations on the side.
Yes.
I don't know where you're supposed to go with this. I don't know.
You're again, this is where I would take it to the federations, or even reach out, ahead of the CHF Canada conference, to reach out and say, these are some of the issues. I'm really hoping to get some resolutions, some ideas.
Don't think there's enough advocacy on this. I don't see this being talked about a lot. I don't see us getting a lot of fun. There should be funding for retrofitting now, and I don't see that out there so far. So I'd like to see more action on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and maybe that's something. Are you in touch with March of Dimes or other accessibility organizations that might be able to connect you, refer you? I did, when I was living in Toronto, I actually worked with the March of Dimes, and there was a program, and I don't know if it still exists, but it was a volunteer program for retired engineers, and they would do a case-by-case design for people with disabilities. So if someone had a stroke and they couldn't use their left side, but they've always been a woodworker, then they would come up with a contraption or a setup where they could still do that just with one arm and that kind of thing. But for some people, it was, accessibility in their kitchen to help them with cooking and that kind of thing. But things that aren't necessarily on the market. Like, you're going to find wheelchairs on the market, you're going to find canes and crutches and things like this, but you're not necessarily going to find the things that actually make people's quality of life good. So they may be worth reaching out to, and if they don't still have programs like that, they might be able to refer you.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's neat.
Yeah, and hopefully could refer you to funding sources too, because we have an aging population in Canada, and we have more and more needs for these kinds of supports. Yeah. Anything else around belonging? So being heard, the accessibility, not just equity, inclusion and diversity. Yeah, I like that piece that CHF Canada has on accessibility. Yeah, and how do you steward it?
I'm still working on that.
Working birds.
I think my internet just froze. This is so funny because when I work from home, I have good cell service and good internet. I work from the office on campus and everything is questionable.
That's okay. I came into the office Friday to no internet.
Oh, that's a hard day. Yeah, in terms of stewarding, so how do you steward and build belonging within the cooperative?
I think encouraging diversity on your boards and on all the committees, like making sure we try and spread that out.
That makes a big difference, and not just a big difference in terms of people being able to bring different issues because they have different life perspectives. But if you take any issue, even if it seems like it shouldn't be impacted by someone's cultural background or immigration background or something, but just different ways of thinking and organizing in society, different ways that people are used to working with money or working with coming together to solve problems. It's amazing the more diversity you have on your board in terms of background and just culture and thinking, the more solutions, the more effective the research shows folks are at arriving at solutions. Yeah.
One of the nagging things that I've been interested in is that right now, because my board is heavily on the senior side as well, I'm worried that I'm not addressing any issues that might be happening with our younger members. So I'd like to get more input from them to see what they want to get out of the planning and things happening at the co-op. And then I think if we involve them more, they'll feel like they're more heard and more part of it. I worry that we focus so much on trying to address my seniors' issues that we're not keeping in touch with our younger people.
Yeah, great to illuminate that. Yeah, and I remember you had noted from one of the modules about having open board meetings.
Yeah,
so
I thought that was really cool. I never even thought of that. So
yeah. I mean, it also is a good reminder. Sometimes board meetings go deep into the weeds on certain things. It's a good reminder to have the board be in a good place where they can showcase what good governance looks like, so people can set their good expectations for what being on the board could be. Okay, anything else around stewarding belonging? Do you feel complete with your course and ready for your exam?
Yes.
Yeah. Any?
funny.
Oh yes, I really enjoyed it. It was a pretty good one.
I like that at first I thought, oh, two people, but you both were so engaging. You were willing to support each other and offer ideas and whatnot too. So I think it made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. I have nothing but positive things to say about this. I thought this was a really good course.
Right. Well, if I only get one of two evaluations, I'll know that one of you didn't. I guess
That's
I
right.
should say, if you can take the time to give feedback, it helps CHF Canada know what works and what's helpful and everything too. So we appreciate it if you do.
We will. I will at least. Yeah.
The thing CHF Canada needs to do. So many people, I tell them they don't even know this course exists. They don't, and they don't know the whole program. The accreditation thing. They don't know it exists. So I think getting that more out there.
Right.
So, and not just to management. I think I've been telling members who pop by that this is what I'm doing, and they think this is great. So I think getting this out broader would be good.
Okay, good. I will note that. Yeah, it's definitely new, and they're definitely iterating on how to do this best. And I think will in future years have a bit more exposure and a bit more smooth experience for the folks going through the courses as well. Yeah. Well, you have my information, so you can definitely reach out to me at any point, even beyond the course. But I will look forward to receiving your exams. And we'll mark them and send feedback.
Okay.
I will call them now and see if we can finally get to the bottom of it. But
That's so funny.
yeah, I appreciate you both, and I really do hope that I get to meet you
Yeah.
in Fredericton. And yeah, and all the best with your work. I mean, you're both on the
That's great.
newer end in your work,
Yeah.
but you're already doing the education, you're already looking at solution finding, so you're in a good way.
Sounds good. I can't wait to see you guys in person too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
they'll
Thank
find out that
you.
I'm actually only 2.5 feet tall. Thanks to you both. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.